care for anything. And human rights means I, especially the Western man, especially when he has a white skin, I have all the rights. Whereas the others, they have less rights than I have. This is the real meaning of human rights. And if, of course, if man is in the center of everything, if man becomes the real God, takes the place of God, then something is very important for him. Something which gives him power and which gives him the possibility to enjoy life. It is money. And this is why money has become, above man, the real God of Western society, especially in that triangle system, which I call the satanic triangle. And this whole system, God is not important anymore. Moral values are not so important. More important is freedom and my personal rights. And money is central important. All this has become a religion in the last 200 years. It has become a deen, not only a religion, a deen, as Islam is a deen. Deen means not only religion, but a way of life and a social, political, economic order, an order of society. This is what Islam means. Well, the deen of the West, this deen centered on money, is exactly the same, is also not only a ritual, it's a religion, a personal religion. It has become a way of life and has become a social, political, economic order. This deen of the West bases exactly like every religion, not only Islam, but Islam especially, on 5 pillars. You know that Islam, in all religions, these 5 pillars have been lost, or some have been forgotten, or dust has come over them. Islam has made them visible again with the last revelation of Allah and the last Sunnah. It became visible again, the 5 pillars we have in Islam. Now this new deen of the West, I call it the deen of Shaitan, has also 5 pillars. Their shahada is La ilaha ill al-dollar, Horeya Rasul al-Dollar. There is no God but money, the dollar. And the messenger of that God, money, is freedom. Think of the Liberty statue, a beautiful woman, because women play a big role also in this. It's interesting that's a woman. Liberty, freedom is the messenger, the prophetess of that new God, money. We have 5 prayers a day, the second pillar. They have 10,000 prayers a day. Their prayers are called publicity, commercials. You find them in every television program, in every radio program, in every newspaper, on the wall of every house in the city. Everywhere you find the salat and the dhikr in favor of that God, money, which dominates everything and to which our ibadat go. The third pillar, we have zakat, social solidarity with the poor, with those who are weaker than we are. They have the contrary of zakat, it's riba. And riba, you know, dear brothers and sisters, is much more than interest and usury, as many Muslims believe. Riba, if you analyze the word, the Arabic meaning of the word, it is making more. It is every way to make profits without having made a useful work, a useful, brought something to the general welfare, to economy. It is just making money without working for it, without doing something necessary, useful, morally positive. An economic, positive economic action. This is the real meaning of riba. And this riba today has become the motor, the machine of the Western, of the world economy, the global economy. If I give you this is not Islamic propaganda, you can read it in The Economist, it was mentioned in the Monde Diplomatique, in the Neue Zürcher Zeitung, 70% of all the operations on our world stock exchanges do no longer concern capital being invested into economic business so that they create jobs, that they are productive, interesting for the welfare of everybody. That 70%, only 30% of the stock exchange operations concern the economy, bring capital into factories or facilitate economic enterprises. 70% of the stock exchange operations now concern making profit, simply profit, accumulate capital. I go to sleep in the evening, in the morning I wake up, and because I have sold or bought some shares in the evening, made some operations at the stock exchange, now in the morning I wake up and I have earned about 10 or 50 or 100 million dollars. I mean, this is an extraordinary phenomenon. It is changing slowly the world economy, and it is destroying it. And it's interesting, the Quran warns us. Allah says in the Quran, Allah will abolish riba and remake justice on earth. It's a very interesting thing, one of the few parts in the Quran where Allah makes a clear affirmation, where a clear engagement. And we now already feel, and many Western economic theoreticians and finance specialists speak of a coming crash because of this riba business with credit taking and indebtment, which takes incredible form. The most indebted countries on earth today are, interestingly, Israel and the United States of America. It's very interesting. And the whole third world has $200 billion debts. It is rubbish in the comparison of the $30,000 billion debts of the American economic system. I mean, these are things we must think over. Now, the fourth pillar of this new deen, I will mention it briefly. It is Saum. Once in a year, 1 month, we fast. Every religion had fasting, a certain discipline of mind, of soul, heart, and body. Every religion had this. Islam has kept it pure. And we do it once a year, during 1 month, the month of Ramadan. And they have the same thing, but the contrary of it. And not only 1 month, but 12 months. 12 months they do the contrary of fasting. Consume, to consume, consumption. More and more. Eat more and more, make more money, eat better, dress better, buy a new, better car. It is exemplified in the Quran by a surat, which I would like to call the Surat America. It's a 102nd surat, it's called Surat Al-Takathur. You all remember it, and when you read it again, you see this is exactly the picture of the Western society. This is the American way of life. To always go for more of everything, have more, enjoy more, have more fun, have more, enjoy more your life, till you reach your graves. And of a sudden, you find out at the very end, you find out that you missed the real Naim. And when they ask you about the Naim, what is really important in life, then you fail and hellfire is waiting for you. It's a tremendous surah. Read it again, brothers and sisters. And we have the fifth pillar in Islam. It's once in a lifetime, Hajj. They have a similar thing. They do it twice, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a year. They call it sex tourism, drug tourism, alcohol tourism, brothel tourism, casino gambling tourism, and so on, mass tourism. We make tawaf around the Holy Kaaba. They make tawaf around nightclubs, brothels, gambling, casinos, and so on. And we have tafsir books concerning Islam, the Quran, and explaining the way, or the perfect way of the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salam. They have a huge tafsir, one big tafsir. It's called the media. The whole media, television, radio, magazines, newspapers, wherever you look, it is one big tafsir to these 5 pillars of the deen of shaitan. We also could call it the deen of Dajjal.